seker maak 'n rekord.
Ja, terwyl jy hier vooraan.
Okay. Dis nog geleer ons met trou nie betree gaan. Wonderlik. Okay.
Jy's happy met dit, nee?
Dit lyk nice. Ja. Daar's 3 nice angles. Is jy full of silent?
Okay. So ek kan inkom, asof dit
Ja, ek sal vir jou waar jy oog laat, actually, ek gaan hier staan.
Ja, dan kan ek gaan appel daar agter jou nog toe,
Okay.
Dan,
Maar jy kan na hierdie weer ook kyk.
ja, okay.
Ek sal mission.
Okay. Let's make it for a start.
Let's do it.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to see you all here, and thank you for coming in this morning to listen to my talk about how to grow your business and what were some of the challenges in my life, what I had to go through, and what is my experiences. And I would love to share this with you today so that you can go back and apply this in your own business. But you will also realize that you are going through the same things that I went through. Now, there's this story that sometimes, why repeat the same mistakes when we can learn from someone that has gone through those mistakes? And when we learn from it, then we don't have to make those mistakes. And I think that is important, because how many of you are in business here? Yeah, almost all of you. And how many of you are with a job? They call it just over broke. Great. Now, some of you that has a job would love to start their own business, and you wouldn't know where to start. There would be some of you in this audience that have a business but are struggling at the moment, cash flow wise. And if we look at our economy at this moment, everyone struggles in their business. Now, you will see I'm Kobus Visser. Some call me the Superman of South Africa. I like to push the limits. I like to go out of my comfort zone. It's not easy. I grew up as a little boy that is shy, that can hardly talk in front of people. And as you see, I'm doing that for a living. And now, this is where I am. I want you to discover the greatness that are in you so that you can go and live that greatness out there. Because we all have passions, we all have dreams. Now, just to show you who I am, this is the start of Kobus Visser. I know it's a short video, but by the time, hopefully in a month's time, it will be a full length. Now, as you look at that, it already starts creating chills. I still get goosebumps watching at that. Now imagine that telling my whole story. And it's all about presentation, it's all about branding, it's all about marketing. How do you brand yourself in your business? But before we get to that, I need to think and find out where you are at your life in this moment. And I need to share with you where I was and what was this one big, let's say, philosophy or quote that came into my life that had this big impact on me, that changed my life, that actually shook my core to its foundation. And this is something that we are in charge of our thoughts, our words, and our actions. Now, if you realize how important that is in your life, you will know that you are in charge of your destiny. Now, this was a quote quoted by Gandhi. I think he created this quote, and it starts with, your beliefs become your thoughts. Now, if I had to look at everyone, how many of you, example, see me walking there on fire? Let me just check if I can. Red hot coals, 500 to 600 degrees Celsius. Now, how many of you believe fire burns? Well, everyone in this room does, because out of experience, because it was taught to you, or someone of that science told you that fire burns. Now, what if I can take you through a process? As you see there, I'm walking through 500 to 600 degrees Celsius, and I didn't get burned. Now, if that is possible, you can't get burned walking through fire, what other beliefs do you have that you think is true, but you never question those beliefs, and so you always accept it as true? And I'm here to challenge you today to start questioning your beliefs about business, your beliefs about the economy, your beliefs about yourself what is possible. Maybe your teacher when you grew up told you, Kobus, you will never amount to anything. You are not smart enough. And you took that as the truth and you believe that your whole life that you are not good enough. Because that becomes our thoughts. Your daily thought When the moment you wake up, what is your thought process? What is that first words that you think of? Is it, oh no, it's another Blue Monday? And then you start your Blue Monday like that because you probably woke up with the wrong foot out of the wrong bed. Something like that. Yeah, something like that, wrong foot out of the wrong bed. And then suddenly the next thing happens, and you say, you see, they come in threes. And then you're waiting for the second bad thing to happen, and then the second bad thing happens. And you say, just one more to go. And then third thing happens. And at the end of the day, you set your trend for the day because that was your thought process. You're thinking that the whole morning. Now, your thoughts become your words. Because the moment you think about it's a Blue Monday, and the first thing happens, you tell everyone it's going to happen in three. What is going to happen? It's going to happen in three. You say it with words. Now, give me a person. Show me their word. Just give me a few minutes with them. Show me what they are talking about. Let me listen to what they have to say. I will tell you what they're thinking on a daily basis, and I will tell you what their beliefs are about society, about life, about business, about everything. And I think that is why it's so important, is that because your words become your actions. If you believe you are not good enough, you're going to start saying, I'm not good enough. Your actions is going to be, I'm not good enough. And you're not going to walk with confidence. So it's important for you to know that your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. The more you act it out, the more it becomes your habit. Now, if you have to go to the gym on a daily basis, suddenly later on that habit of that action becomes a habit that you can't go a day without going to the gym. The next thing is your habits become your values. What is your values currently in your life? If it's family, you will always do everything to be with your family, take out of family, and business and everything will not come first. But look at what you spend most of your time with. If it's in work and business, that is your number one value. Now, be careful about values. How many of you believe here that their number one value is honesty? Great stuff. Always, when I ask that question about everyone. Now, if I had to ask in this room, how many of you are a lawyer or an attorney? There's a few of you, right? Now, if I had to ask you, I saw you had your hands up and you are, one value is honesty. How many of you are sometimes honest to your clients? Or are they honest in the profession? My perception of the profession, there's not a lot of honesty dependent on the circumstances. But if you had to think about it, if your number one value is honesty, and you live and work in an environment where you can't always be honest, what is happening to you? You are suddenly getting sick, you are suddenly always stressed, always depressed, always in this environment that you're unhappy. Why? Because you're not living to your highest value. So that is why it's so careful and that you need to be when you set your values in your life and in your business. Because it can either uplift you and give you power, or it can make you sick. The next thing is your values become your destiny. Now the destiny and what you've been created in your life is where you are now. You just have to look at the past few years, your thoughts, your words, your actions, and suddenly that has created your reality. Now, for me, it's important, if you want to change that destiny, you need to change your reality. And that reality starts here. Change your mind, change your beliefs, change your words. Change your actions, and your habits will change and will become your values. And then ultimately will lead to changing your destiny. This was said by Gandhi. And this philosophy I live by every day. It changed my life, it shook my core to its foundation, and it made me realize that I am in charge of my future, my destiny. I have to ask you, when you woke up every morning, when you started this career in business or in this job, did you have a vision? And what was your vision? Now, if I had to tell you in the next month I'm going to Mauritius, there's going to be white beaches and a beautiful clear water, what is the third thought that comes up in your mind? Yes. People you think about bikini, yes. About cocktails, about swimming in the ocean with snorkeling, yes. At the end of the day, that's the pictures you think of. Now, your brain doesn't think in words, your brain thinks in pictures. Now, if I had to show you this is my vision board of what I wanted in my life. Now, if I want to see There I am in the middle, it's all about me, there's my mentors, there is something I will teach you about the HUD. But there's one thing that is important for me, healthy bones and joints. And as I will share with you in a few moments, I'm a hemophiliac. And one thing for me, it's important to have healthy bones and joints. The next thing there is my Kilimanjaro. At the end of the day, I went to climb Kilimanjaro. Now, to get back to you, to show you how powerful this is, how many of you know what a hemophiliac is? Almost none of you. Okay, just to give you an example, what it is my blood doesn't clot. So if I get a cut, I keep on bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. Now, if you just had to take one of your elbows, and let's say for this instance, like your right elbow, and you stretch it out, how straight can it go? This is how straight mine can go. And you touch your shoulder, I can't touch my shoulder. So this is both my elbows. I have to get an elbow replacement. That's why I have healthy bones and joints. Both my ankles need to get fused. I'm walking, talking and pain every day. Just to get out of bed takes me an hour every morning. I can't step on my ankle, so I have to lay down, sort of move them, take my hand, move my ankle so that it sort of warms up in my mind. And as it warms up, I can stand on them, I can walk slowly, and then I start moving, and the more I move, the easier it becomes. Now, a few years ago, it happened that one day I woke up and I couldn't walk. Now, as a hemophiliac, I just give myself an injection, my blood clots, and it gets better. But suddenly there's one day, became 1 week became 1 month, 1 month became 6 months, 6 months became 1 year, etc. Now, what do you do in that situation? Can you be happy and positive at the same time? No. Something had to change up here. My beliefs about my future, that I need to get both my elbows replaced, I need to get both my ankles fused. That was my future, that was my destiny. I had to change it up here. Yes, there's nothing wrong against you, doctor, but I love you still. But first we need to work on ourselves. And when we need expert help, we go to the experts. The first expert I went to is the mind expert. And I've read books from mind power to mental strength. And the power that is in you is so amazing that is in your mind. And the moment I started applying it, it became so much easier, and my life started to change. My destiny changed. Where I am today is all thanks to this. You know, to get out of my situation, I needed to focus on where I'm going. And one of those focuses was, how am I going to do this? Now, one of my mentors, Tony Robbins, says that aim for the sun and you will land among the stars. You have to have a goal as big as possible so that you can take massive consistent action to achieve it. So one day I look at this documentary, and at this documentary there's a guy from South Africa that climbs Kilimanjaro with his wheelchair 2 times. And another guy with cerebral palsy climbing it with crutches. And at that moment, because I don't have muscles and I hardly can move a wheelchair, I realized if I can just get into a crutches, maybe I should challenge myself to go climb Kilimanjaro. And everyone laughed the moment I shared it. But I realized there were people that were willing to go climb with me. At one point, we were 50 people wanting to climb Kilimanjaro with me. Amazing. How would you do if you have 50 people supporting you in your goal and your dream on a daily basis and saying, Chris, where are you? What have you done today? How can we help you? How can we walk with you? How can we exercise with you? I want you to think about the people that you surround yourself with on a daily basis. You start to walk like them, you start to talk like them, you start to think like them. Now, just looking at your actions and your thoughts and your words today, are you happy? You can just look at your friends and you will see they are talking the same language. They're walking the same, they're talking the same. So, my journey started 20 years ago when I started getting into business. I helped over 10 self-started businesses, and I worked in more than family businesses as well from my parents that started it. And just to give you an idea in businesses that I'm part of, there's one Firewalking Africa, Zebras was a franchise, currently Nickel Strain, Kudus Visser, CBD, Mars, Dot Biscuit, Fun4U. It's business that I'm a part of, and some of them I started, and there's a few that aren't even there. But this was quickly just set up to show you that I have the experience of over 20 years being in business. Now, most of you that are job just over broke will know the biggest fear is to step up and start your own business. And that is what's stopping you. Those who are in business, fear is stopping you to grow. The economy is bad. Look at what the government is doing. Look at what the rand dollar is doing. Everyone will always find something to look at and make them fear. But fear is only false evidence appearing real. Think about it. This moment that you are in this room, there is no fear because you are present. The moment you have to think about tomorrow as the end of the month, and you know you have to pay X, Y, and Z, and you know you don't have the cash flow in your bank, you start to be afraid. Yeah, not afraid, but you are fearful for the end of the month. And you're thinking of, how am I going to do this? And then suddenly you think of the last few months, I haven't had